Greetings, my empire. Dre's we're back with another video, and today we back with another ESO build video, man. Today I'm gonna be doing my Magicka Sorcerer build video. Now, my Magicka Sorcerer, this build video is gonna be similar to my Magicka Nightblade build, where it's gonna be kind of a revision of my Magicka Sorcerer build, my old Magicka Sorcerer build video. The builds is gonna be kind of similar, in a way, but I just want to show y'all how the build is and the tweaks I've done in the new Flames of Ambitions patch with the new CP and the new armor penalties and armor bonuses and stuff like that. I just want to show you how the build is in this patch. Now, I did do a lot of tweaking with this build, man, because to be honest, I really didn't like Magicka Sorcerer in the beginning of this patch, simply for the fact that I feel like shields were really squishy. I feel like Magicka Sorcerers didn't have no sustain at all. Shields went down in an instant, especially on a Nightblade that was running ball orgs or something like that, and they just drop your shield in an instant like that. Like 1 second you have a shield up, the next second the shield is down, and I feel like shields is way too squishy right now. But with this build I have, I call this build my equivalent exchange build. I'll show you why I call it the equivalent exchange build when we get into CP, so make sure you stick around to see why this build is called the equivalent exchange. I feel like this build is one of the more unique builds I've done. I feel like nobody has done this build, you feel me? I think I'm the first person who's done this build. But before we get into it, I want to ask y'all to hit the like button, subscribe, join the empire. You already know, helps me out, helps the channel out, and helps the channel grow. And without further ado, let's get into the build. So front bar, let's go into the stats. So first, 35k maximum Magicka, 2000 maximum 2000 Magicka recovery, 25,000 maximum health, 3,000 health recovery. Crazy, right? That's crazy health recovery. And this is the key to why I call this the equivalent exchange build. But like I said, 3,000 health recovery, really insane and really good. 1,400 14 I said 1,000 14,000 maximum stamina, almost close to 15,000 maximum stamina, and 1,200 stamina recovery. So just good resources all around, good recoveries and good maximum resources. I feel like this is our front bar. Unbuffed spell damage is sitting at 3,500, and our spell penetration is sitting at a clean 9,000. Now our back bar resistances, we sit at 20k spell resistance, and we sit at 16k physical resistance. Now to buff up our buff stats, we have 31k spell resistance and 28k physical resistance for our back bar resistance stats. And for our front bar spell damage, 4,600 spell damage buff front bar with the weapon enchantment. For our attribute, we put 64 into Magicka. Our race is a high elf. Now I chose high elf because high elf have a specific passive called spell charge. So basically what it does, when you activate an ability, you restore 625 maximum Magicka stamina based on whichever is lowest every 6 seconds. Now the reason I feel like this is really good, because Sorc really depends on both of them stats, max Magicka and maximum stamina. We're Magicka characters, so we already benefit from having a lot of Magicka. Then we get Magicka from stamina, and also we use stamina to roll, dodge, break free, block, all of that. So I feel like this is really good to keep both stats up, especially on the sorcerer. Then the secondary stat for this is when you are using an ability with a channel or a cast time, you take 5% less damage. Now this is really good because when we're spamming Dark Gale to get our resources back, we're just taking less damage, and I feel like that's really good, especially in open world when we need to get our resources back. The other stats is really good as well. We get a flat 2,000 max Magicka, and we also get 258 spell damage. Breton will work with this. Dark Elf will work. Even Khajiit will work if you're running a crit build. So yeah, but for this build, I would only suggest Dark Elf and Breton. Dark Elf, Breton, and High Elf, of course. For our food, we are running the Smoke Bear Hunch. This increases our maximum health by 3,600, health recovery by 340, and stamina and Magicka recovery by 314. Now, I won't tell you need to run this food, because this food is really expensive, and I'm not going to tell you just to run this expensive food. This food costs you an arm and a leg. Perfect row is not cheap. So if you can't get if you don't got it like that to get Smoke Bread Hunch, you could just run Juice or Miserable. It basically gives you everything Smoke Bear Hunch gives you, just without the health recovery. So your health recovery is going to be a little bit lower if you don't run Smoke Bear Hunch, but that's really it. So if you don't have it for Smoke Bear Hunch, just run this. I don't even have it for Smoke Bear Hunch. That was my last Smoke Bear Hunch that I was running. So yeah. For our boon, we are running the Mage just for flat out more maximum Magicka. Our sets don't give us too much maximum Magicka, so having this, extra maximum Magicka from other sources, such as the boon, is really good to just give us flat maximum Magicka. Now let's go into our sets. Now our first set, front bar, we are running Spinners. Gives us weapon damage. We have the weapon damage enchant. We have the Nirnholm trait. What Spinner does, it gives you a line of maximum Magicka, another line of maximum Magicka, a line of spell damage, and gives you a nice 3,339 spell penetration. Now, the reason we run this is because we really don't have any ability that decreases resistances. We are in light armor. We are in 5-piece light armor and 2 heavy, so we do get natural penetrations from our light armor passes, but we don't get any debuffs and our abilities, such as drain Magicka or something. What is it called? Rapt of Elements. You know what I'm saying? We don't get any Magicka. We don't get any resistance debuffs in our abilities. So having a set that gives us spell penetration is really good, just to kind of compensate for us not having an ability that decreases resistances. For our back bar 5th piece, we are running Armor Masters. I have the Mace with Defending, and I have the Shield with Nirnholm with the maximum health enchantment, and I have poisons on it. If you don't want to run poisons, you don't have to. You can run whatever you want, shock damage, enchantment, anything. I just feel like I'm not really gonna heavy attack or light attack it in the back bar, but if I need to, if I need stamina for some reason, or maybe if I light attack by accident, I might as well just put a little nice poison dot on the enemy. Now what Armor Master does is it gives you a line of maximum health, a line of armor, another line of armor, and the 5th piece, while you have an armor ability slotted, your max health is increased by 5%. When you use armor ability while in combat, your physical and spell resistance is increased by 5,700 for 10 seconds. So this is really good to have resistances backing up our shields. Like I said, shields is really squishy this patch, so to have resistances, for when somebody takes their shield all the way down, to have those resistances, to have a little sustain to keep yourself up is really good, especially with the health recovery we have as well. Is really good to just help us stay up, with the health recovery, with the resistances. We make ourselves really a lot more tankier. Uh, we have the helmet of the armor master. For the big pieces, we run the multi-effect enchantment, so head, chest, and legs. And for the little pieces, we run the max magic enchantment and the impenetrable on all our gear. We have the shoulder of the swarm mother. Basically, we have this for the first piece that gives us maximum magicka and maximum stamina. 1,000 of each. This is really good, especially on stamina sorcerer, or not stamina sorcerer as a whole, because as a sorcerer you benefit from both having both stats tremendously. Now for our jewelry, we are running willpower. We have the Magicka recovery enchantment on every piece with the arcane, and with willpower gives us is a nice chunk of maximum magicka, 1,700 maximum magicka. Then the third piece gives us 200 spell damage. Now the reason we don't have the spell damage enchantment on the jewelry is because I feel like we already get enough spell damage from our high elf passives and from running willpower. So we might as well put our spell damage in our we might as well put recoveries on our jewelry just to have more sustain with magicka. Now let's go into the ability. So front bar ability, we are running crushing shock. This is our spammable. The reason I run crushing shock is I feel like it's better than a build weapon. If you want to run and build weapon, you can. I don't know. So I feel like sometimes basic attacks are clunky, so that's why I don't run and build weapon. This is really good because this is always gonna hit the target. Then I like that it does all it does all elemental damage. It does flame, frost, and shock, but especially the flame damage, because you know, there's a lot of vampires out there, so we're gonna have a little bit more damage on those vampires. And the shock damage is really good too, because we are a sorcerer and we do get a buff and shock damage. And this is also a long range interrupt when people are casting. So if people are casting Dark Deal, you can interrupt. If they're casting meditation, that you can interrupt. So this is really good spam move to me, and I'm really messing with it. Haunting Curse, just a lot of tick burst. We get a magic damage burst to a target, and it does magic damage to all other targets near the target after 3.5 seconds. Then the same thing happens a second time for 8.5 seconds. So really good, just really good burst. You know, that really helps the combo out. You know, really good burst. Streak, this is gonna be our stun, and it's gonna be our gap closer. It does shock damage to enemies in your wake, and it stuns them for 3 seconds. And they can, even if they're blocking, they're still gonna be stunned. If you cast this within 4 seconds, it costs 33% more. But I feel like since we are Magicka sorcerer, this really is not gonna do too much to us, since we already have a lot of Magicka sustain. So we could really just spam this, and that 33% more Magicka is really not gonna affect us. You feel me? Crystal fragments. Now crystal frag is good, not for the first. You never want to cast this ability unless the second stat procs. And basically what it does is casting a Magicka ability has a 35% chance of causing your next crystal frag to be an instant and deal 66 more 66 can't even say that 66 more damage and cause 50% less Magicka. Now you never want to cast this ability like this, because first of all, it's doing less damage and it has a cast time. Basically how you want to cast it is you want to wait till it turns red, so it could be an instant cast. Bam, does good damage, costs dirt cheap, and it's a really nice burst. So that's why we have Crystal Fries. And your next non-ultimate ability cast within 3 seconds costs 10% less. So this is reducing the cost of our other abilities as well. So really good. Now Mage's Wrath is basically going to be our execute. It does shock damage if the enemy falls below 20% health within 4 seconds of being struck. An explosion deals a good chunk of shock damage. 11,000. This is almost 12,000 on buff. So when we buff, it's going to be really have a lot more damage, and it does shock damage to the enemies around them. So this is basically an execute. I wish the health was higher, or in which we can do this execute. Maybe 30%, maybe 40% would be really better. But I mean, beggars can't be choosers. So you feel me? This is a really good execute. If you get people at 20%, you catch them with this, and you just get them out the way. Now we run Temple Guard in the front bar. Now I know what y'all might be saying. Why are you running Temple Guard in the front bar? What is going on? Now this has to do with the equivalent exchange, and I'm gonna get to that when I get to the CP. But basically, what you basically want to do is on both of your bars, you want to run an ultimate that gives you a bonus just for having it slotted. So Temple Guard gives me minor protections while I have it slotted, reduces my damage taken by 5%. So while having it slotted, I get this protection. I'm not using this ult for the the back in time thing. I'm just using this ult for the minor protection, and I'm gonna show you why, like I said, when I get into the CP. Now back bar, we run Hardened Ward. This basically a damage shield that's basically going to give us a 16,000 damage shield that might go up. Like, I don't like to say numbers when I say stats, but I don't know if that goes up or not. So this is capped at 60% of your max health though, so 60% max health cap. Now shields are nerfed in PvP, so we do run 2 shields. Let me explain it when I get to the second shield. Dark Conversion, this costs stamina, and you basically restore a nice amount of health and a nice amount of Magicka when you cast this instantly, and an additional Magicka over 20 seconds. So this is what I was saying, where our stamina could be turned into Magicka, and this is going to be our main heal as well, and this is going to be our cast. And yeah. Now Dampen Magic, Dampen Magic. This is going to proc our Armor Master. This is also going to be our second damage shield. This is also capped at 60% max health. Now we run the Dampen Magic morph because each piece of light armor ward increases the amount of damage absorbed by 5%. Now running these both together in non-open world gives us a full health bar damage shield. But like I said, damage shields are nerfed by 50% and Cyrodiil. So instead of it completely filling our full health bar, this is probably only gonna fill 70% of our health bar and Cyrodiil or open world PvP or any type of PvP. But the reason that this is not going to be that bad, because like I said, we have resistances to back it up with Armor Masters, and we have health recovery that's giving us insane amount of sustain. We got over 3,000 health recovery. Critical Surge. Now Crit Surge, if you don't want to run Crit Surge, because we don't have a lot of spell crit, I must admit we don't have a lot of spell crit. So if you don't want to run Crit Surge and you want to run Entropy, you can, if you have a lot into the Mages Guild. But I don't know, I like Crit Surge. I didn't go out my way to get Entropy because I like Crit Surge because of the long duration. It does have a 33% duration for our major sorcery. That's going to be a source of major sorcery that increases our spell damage by 20%. And also while we deal a crit, it heals us Now we don't crit a lot. We have a 20% crit chance, but when we do crit, we do get a little heal, which is kind of nice. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. If, like I said, if you want to run entropy, you can, but I feel like I just stick with crit surge because it's, you know what I mean. Boundless Storm, a source of major resolve, that increases physical resistance and spell resistance by 6,000. This does shock damage every 1 second for 20-30 seconds to enemies around you. And you get a major period of major expedition when you cast this for 4 seconds. So you get major expedition for 4 seconds when you cast it. So as a, like I said, we do have a lot of Magicka sustain. We have a lot, so we could basically spam this and just, you know, spam the major expedition and just be fast as lightning, fast as the Flash, fast as Sonic. You feel me? So yeah. And we have Temple Guard also on this back bar as well. We have Temple Guard on both bars. Like I said, you want to ultimate that gives you something well slotted. If you want to run Werewolf on both of these bars, you can. Just something that gives you something for having the ability slotted. Now that we're done with the abilities, I can show y'all why I call this the equivalent exchange build, and it's mainly for this CP stat alone. This is called strategic reserve, and basically you gain 30 health recovery for every 10 ultimate you have. You can have up to 500 ultimates, so 500 divided by 10, I believe, is 50. 50 times 30 is 1,500, I believe. So from this alone, we get a 1,500 health recovery boost on top of the health recovery we have from food and you know, food and passives and stuff. That just gives us a sum total of 3,000 health recovery, just flat 3,000 health recovery. But in exchange for not having to use our ultimate, we can't use our ultimate, we get this health recovery. Now the reason I feel like I can do this on Magicka Sorcerer and that this build will only work on Magicka Sorcerer, because Magicka Sorcerer, to be honest, doesn't really have good ultimate. Overload, I feel like it's kinda overhyped. This is not a really good ultimate. I really like find Overload to be really clunky, not hitting my target most of the time. Like, even though the target is not roll dodging, the target is not doing nothing, I feel like I've seen it a lot of times just miss for no reason. Also, another drawback from Overload is you're not getting any ultimate while you have this toggled. So that's really good. That's really bad. That's really bad. You're not getting any ultimate. I feel like you should be able to get ultimate while you have this on, just to keep a persistent Overload on, because Overload is not doing a lot for you already. So I feel like if you just have this, I feel like you should be able to just gain ultimate, you feel me, while you have this on, you feel me. Overload is a really I keep saying Overload is a really bad ultimate, you feel me. It does do a little bit of damage when it hits, I ain't gonna lie, and with the morph it does give some more Magicka sustain, but like I said, it's really clunky. A lot of the time it doesn't hit your target for no reason. Yeah, I don't like Overload. It's trash. And as a class, Magicka Sorcerer doesn't really have any good ult. You're not gonna run Negate Magic. That's not really good. Storm Astronaut only really good for duel. You're not gonna run this in open world PvP. People are just gonna run away from it. You know what I mean? So not really good class ults. The only ult that may be okay that Magicka Sorcerer has access to is Meteor. And even Meteor, I really don't like Meteor because it's an ult that can be anticipated. You see the markings below your feet, and it's just highly anticipated. Like every time I'm getting struck by a Meteor, I just anticipate it, bro. I just put up all my heals, put up my resistances, just do everything I can, then bam, the meteor don't hit for nothing because I knew it was coming. You know what I'm saying? So I don't feel like meteor is a really good ult as well, and it costs a lot. So I feel like with just all of this alone, I feel like I was able to just really think to myself like, man, I'd rather have a flat 3,000 health recovery than to have an ultimate on Magicka Sorcerer. I feel like we do enough damage with our abilities alone, and I feel like I said, we don't have a lot. Magicka Sorcerer really struggles with sustain in this Flames of Ambition patch because shields is so squishy. So having the health recovery is going to be really good for us. So I made the decision to make an equivalent exchange. In exchange for our ult, we get the health recovery. Now going back in this tree, let's start from here. We have 40 into Tireless Guardian that reduces our block cost by 80. Now the reason we have it in here, and the reason this is so good, because as we have light armor on, light armor does give us increased block cost, so this kind of softens that blow for wearing light armor. We have 40 into Hero's Vigor to give us more max health. Max health is really good, especially for shields, because your shields scale off your max health. Shield Master, we only have 10 into this to access Bastion. We have 15 into here that increases the effectiveness of our shields by 50%, so basically giving us those tougher shields. 10 into Mystic Tenacity, we basically only have 10 into here to access here to Hero's Vigor and all of these. 45 into Tumbling, that decreases our roll dodge cost by 360. This is really good, stacked on top of with the light armor passives. Basically our roll dodging is going to cost dirt. It's going to cost so cheap. It's dirt, you feel me? Just cheap roll dodges. Defiance, we have 40 into here to give us a 440 cost reduction on breaking free. This is going to be really good for 1vxing or just facing somebody who likes to stun a lot. This is going to be really good, so because we're not going to be completely wasting our stamina resource. Juggernaut increases our gives us less damage when we're in crowd control immunity, so we get 10% damage reduction while in crowd control immunity. This is good. For when we're in crowd control immunity, when we just get stunned, we break free, we begin a 10% damage reduction, you feel me, in the time we're immune to crowd control, so really good. Rejuvenation, we have 15 to here. This is really good because it gives us everything that it gives us. We need health recovery just to add on to our insane health recovery already. Magicka and stamina, just really good for resource sustain, you feel me? So rejuvenation 15 to here. Then the rest of the points I dumped into fortification. This increases the amount of damage you can block. I just dumped the rest of the points in here. I mean, so when we're blocking, we at least we have a little bit of mitigations. For the blue tree, we have 15 to untamed aggression, just raw spell damage we could get from CP, 150 spell damage. We have 15 to arcane supremacy, basically giving us a flat 1,300 maximum magicka, really good. Like I said, I like to get a maximum magicka from other sources, except our sets, because our sets don't give us too much maximum magicka, so getting it from CP is really good. Same thing with Eldritch Insight, gives us more maximum magicka, really good. Starving Death, we have 10 into quick recovery, so we can access Hardy. We have 40 into Hardy that reduces our damage we take by material attacks by 4%. This is really good because we are in light armor and we do take more damage from material attacks in light armor, so this kind of softens that blow. Material attacks hit really hard, uppercut hits really hard, poisons hit really hard. This is really good to, soften that up a little. We have 10 in precision, so we can access Wrathful Strikes. Wrathful Strikes gives us 165 spell damage to our damaging ability, so you know what I mean, our crystal frags, our haunting curse, our force pulse, all of that, we're getting damage increase. We go into extended might, 40 into piercing, just to add more penetration to the penetration we already have. 20 to flawless ritual. We don't have a lot of magical status figured out, I don't believe. I don't know, I have to look into this, but yeah, but we really put 20 tier to access war mage. That gives us 100 spell damage to our magical attack. So basically all of our attacks are magical, so a magical attack. And we have 15 to deadly aim to increase our damage done with single target attacks by 2%. Just I mean by 10% damage done with our single target attacks, because we have 15 to here, just making our burst damage even more burstier. Yeah, I mean, it's free burst. I'll take free burst. You take free burst, I'll take free burst. I like free burst. So yeah, 15 to here. Then the rest of the points I dumped into tireless discipline, just for more maximum stamina. And for the green tree, I'm not going to really explain the green tree. This don't really have to do anything with PvP. I have the same setup on the green tree on every character, so if you want to copy this setup, I feel like this is the best setup. And that's pretty much the build, man. I've really enjoyed playing this build. I feel like this build is really like made me you know, go back to Magicka Sorcerer, especially with the equivalent exchange aspect where I trade in my ultimate for health recovery. I feel like it's giving me the sustain I need to able to keep myself up in fights and not completely get two-shotted by Nightblades or deleted by Dawnbreakers just because of my shield is so freaking soft, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I've enjoyed it. And yeah, if y'all enjoyed the video, make sure y'all hit the like button, subscribe, join the empire. You already know, helps me out, helps the channel out, helps the channel grow, like I said in the beginning. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Drezu Empire out. I'ma see y'all.